Hey everyone, Dr. Tracy, and another video out of chapter 2. This one is about working with data types. Data types are the specific type of information in a variable, and they can be a number of different kinds of data. And data can be used to store values, to manipulate values, to provide arguments or parameters to functions, or to be assigned to objects. Data types can be numbers, they can be Boolean, which is true or false, they can be string, which is characters, letters, spaces, punctuation, whatever. They can be undefined, or they can even be empty, which is null. So the null value is actually a data type. It means it doesn't have a value. Now, null would be kind of like 0, but it's not a number. So if it's null, it means you have assigned it. You're saying it has no value. That's different than undefined, which means it's never been assigned a value. So when you create, like in this one shows variable state tags, and the first statement document.write state tag, since the variable is declared, but it hasn't been assigned a value, then the result would be undefined. State tax is equal to 40. Now it has a value with the document.write statement, but you can also set it equal to null, which is different than just not having a value at all. Strongly typed versus loosely typed. When you have strongly typed programming languages, you have to declare each of the data types of the variables that you are creating, but loosely typed do not require that you declare the types. So JavaScript is considered loosely typed in the sense that it kind of knows what you're doing, and you don't have to tell it that you're creating a string or an integer or a floating point or a Boolean or even a null, because it takes that value and it understands what that is. So that in programming language is called loosely typed. But it does support two different numeric data types, which is integer and floating point number. An integer is just no decimal places, no matter what. And then floating point is everything else. Boolean values only support true or false, and they actually convert to 1 and 0 based on the instructions. If you look at these values right here, these are what Boolean values would be, true or false, and this way you can test conditions, store conditions, create flags, and develop pieces of a program that are based on whether something exists or it does not exist. Strings are a different data type, and strings can do other things that numbers can't. Like strings can be concatenated, which means put together. We define a string according to surrounding it by double or single quotation marks. We can have an empty string, which means it just has 0 length, which is still not considered to be either null or undefined. When you use a quoted string, that's called a string literal. We surround it with single quotation marks. And when we create that, it then becomes a variable where even the spaces themselves are represented as characters. So a string literal might be something like these document.write statements down here that include both HTML and text. String operators are listed here. The concatenation operator means I can put things together. Notice that destination equals Honolulu, location equals Hawaii. Then the next statement creates destination equals Honolulu is in Hawaii. And so now the whole thing would be put together into a single value. A compound assignment operator is it takes the existing value and adds something onto the end of it. So the plus sign is can be used as a concatenation operator for strings as well as an addition operator for numbers. Escape characters are done with backslash. The escape characters means don't print it exactly as it is, do something else with it. And some of those escape characters are listed here in table 2-4. So if I wanted to create a backspace, or if I wanted a carriage return, which is like pressing the enter key, I can't type enter, go down to the next line. So I do backslash, meaning that's an escape character, and it will press enter like return, go down to the next one. So when we have data types, we can use operators to build expressions when we're talking about math. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, which is providing the remainder of two numbers that are when they're divided together, increment, decrement, and negation. Increment means go up by 1, decrement means go down by 1. Assignment operators are typically equal signs, and a single equal sign within most programming languages means set equal to, not is equal to. So you use these tools to put together in order to create your expressions or test conditions. So with each of these, let me go back. With assignment operators, I set values to variables, and with comparison operators, I can return true or false. I can combine logical operators using and, or, and not. When we build on arithmetic operators, you can create multiplication, division, but it goes according to an order of operations. And the order of operations means that, skipping to order of operations. The order of operations is the order in which those are going to be evaluated. And so it goes left to right of equal precedence to execute, which means that we're going to go according to what should happen. First thing that happens is multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. So if you have something that's doing more than one thing, it's going to first execute the multiplication and division after the and then addition and subtraction at the end. But negation and the other things will be executed before that. So as you look at the different types of operators that can be used, the first one is the assignment operators. The assignment operators, where the typical one we use is equal sign, will assign the value of the right operand to the value of the left operand. The left means whatever your name of your variable is. The right is everything that is after that, that's built by using addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, negation, parentheses. But once that value is calculated, it will assign it to whatever is over on the left. The remaining ones that are shown in table 2-8 are compound assignment operators, means they take the value of whatever the left already is and then add to it or subtract from it or multiply, etc., the value that's on the right. Okay, that gets you started on creating expressions with data types and operators. I hope that was helpful. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.